Greetings. My name is Phileas Stone. My website is digitalmystics.org. This video will teach you how to become telepathic, but it's really not going to work unless you have acquired the key, or the key to the gateway of all sacred mysteries, as I describe it in the first video of this channel, Telepathy 101. It sounds like a very highfalutin thing, but you'll understand there's a logical reason for these things that I am describing it as. Excuse me. I call it the key to the gateway of all sacred mysteries. The video does not give you the key, it gives you instructions to acquire the key. When you have acquired the key, it's basically an experience that you'll have, and once you have this experience, you will know absolutely that telepathy is going on all around you constantly, and thus you will realise that your next move is to use that key to open the gateway. And when you open the gateway, you'll understand that all the sacred mysteries are not entirely what they're making themselves out to be. So, it's not really good enough to kind of make believe that you've had the experience. It won't do you any good. It's no good just believing telepathy is going on all around you just because I say so. You have to do more than just believe it, you have to know it. And the only way you can know it is to experience it for yourself. And once you have experienced it, you'll realise that there are telepathic people around you all the time who are saying nothing. And you'll begin to understand the nature of things when you see that there are people in psychological institutions being told it's a delusion that they have voices in their head. There are certainly people who are unaware that they are being affected by voices in their head, and to their mind the idea that someone is actually aware of this is like, you hear a voice, I don't hear a voice, none of us hear a voice, so if you hear a voice, you must be the delusional one because there's more of us than there are of you. And you'll actually find that amongst these people promoting the idea that it's a delusion, there are people who know fine well that it's not, and would like the telepathic truth to be known only to the people they're aligned with. I'm not aligned with any particular group. I consider this ability to be something given to us by the Creator, and some mere creation claiming ownership of it is along the same lines of the enslavers who proliferate across the whole earth in various guises, who claim to have ownership over all our bodies. This is about the ownership of souls, and in all likelihood, if you're born into the deception as I was, then you were born into a prison that you can't see or taste or touch, because it's something that is going on within you, kind of, that those you expected to tell you the truth have kept pretty much quiet. So you're going to have no motivation, no desire to even watch much of this video or pay it much heed unless you have the key already. And that is to say, you have experiences which suggest to you there are telepathic people all around you, people who can read your mind, and there are various magical rituals, let's call it, who, having existed beyond the illusion that this is not going on, then when people find out that it is going on, they engage in more evil magic to cause the trauma and fear and worry in people, such that they themselves are not, they're too panicked, too fearful to get their head round what's going on, and some of them might even stop thinking altogether, such that their capacity for reason is undermined and they'll never work out what happened or why. There's even situations which, well, people who would suggest to me that their memories have been kind of blanked as well, through these various evil magic rituals. And I would suggest that if you have only just acquired the key and there are pressures upon you, to put out the light, so to speak, that is to stop your mind from emanating thoughts into the heavenly realms, we'll call it, then do not give in to this. Allow your mind to be free and realise that some of the things that are going on through your mind are not perhaps your own mindful things, but there are various things which are going on which are affecting your thoughts. So you're reaching a position where you realise how false reality has actually been already, and you don't know what reality actually is. You're walking around in the dark. So I would suggest that you don't do anything aggressive, you don't initiate any aggression, because such things have a will to return. And if you're wandering around in the dark, the chances are you're going to hurt something much more aware than what you are, who may be so offended by your actions that you'll cause even more harm to be done to you. So be aware. That your thoughts are emitting to a world which will not speak the truth of it, for various reasons. I would say the main reason is that there are a very deceptive group, who are basically living behind a lie that this is not going on, or keeping people traumatised so that they will at least not speak the truth of it, and keeping people traumatised so that they might even forget that they had any telepathic experience at all if they just happen upon it. So, how do you become telepathic? First of all, you have to realise that telepathy is going on all around you, and you have to know this, as opposed to, I'll just believe it to see what happens, because it won't make much sense. Because what I'm going to suggest to you, from the position of someone who doesn't know but only believes, is going to sound like I'm telling you to become a nutcase, a loony, lose the world has you believing that to know the truth you would be deluded, and to not be deluded you would be crazy. So it can be a bit of a frightening experience, acquiring the key, but you've got to have massive courage still to go into that bewildering mystery and to open the gate, which will make you see things from the perspective of these telepathic beings which are all around you. The way I would suggest that you do this is to become mindful of your mindfulness. There are basically two modes of operation that I'm going to discuss here. And the one is the thoughts in your head, the things that are going on. Am I hungry? What will I get for dinner? What's on the television tonight? And I would suggest that you stop watching television, because you'll be driven crazy with some of the stuff that's going on. You've got these various thoughts about yourself and your world constantly. This is one mode of operation. There's another mode of operation, which is to be silent and not think. This is a very difficult thing to do. Back to the television thing, I remember an episode of The Simpsons where Lisa Simpson, the brainy kid, she goes into one of these isolation tanks to meditate. And while she's meditating, she's been told to silence her mind. So she silences her mind, and she's thinking, I will silence my mind now. Is my mind silent? Well, my mind can't be silent if I'm thinking about it being silent, so therefore I'm not being silent. And she's already going on a loudness within her mind. Now, I'm suggesting that you silence your mind, right? But at the same time, I'm giving you the warning, do not silence your mind at the pressure of other people. And then in saying that, don't allow their pressure to prevent you from silencing your mind if you so choose to do so. It must be under your own will and not under the force of other people. It can be dangerous to surrender your will to others. So I am merely making the suggestion here that you silence your mind. Do not do it because I'm telling you to do it or because I'm suggesting to do this, but do it under your own will. To silence your mind is to it's that simple. But to achieve that state is quite a difficult thing to do at first. So the way in which I would suggest that you get to that position of having a silenced mind is this. Be silent in your mind. So suppose this was my thoughts I was speaking. The internal sub-vocalization, as the psychologically deluded would call it. The voice of your spirit, as the truth I would relate would have it. This voice is emanating into the heavens, which will not speak the truth that they hear. Your spiritual voice. So within your mind, you are thinking, I will silence my mind. But my mind is not being silent because I am thinking about silencing my mind. So how do I silence my mind if my thinking about silencing my mind? Become mindful of those thoughts, so that even though these thoughts are going through you, you're mindful of the fact that these thoughts are going through you. And from that position, it's almost like these are not my thoughts, these are something that's happening underneath me. In the position of awareness that you're at that point, from this position is the place where you'll be able to pick up on not just your own thoughts, but the thoughts of others, which are going on all around you and are actually affecting that stream of thoughts that you're aware of underneath the position that you're at. You'll hopefully reach that stage in your first meditation. The concept of meditation is filled with so much fakery, like the rest of the world. It's a bit like the people who wear CND stickers and badges. The peace warriors would be an appropriate name for them. They would actually aggress against genuine peaceful people in order to have that respected image of being the most peaceful, because they can aggress their way to having that reputation, which is thoroughly undeserved considering how aggressive they are. I'm not suggesting that you should be peaceful or aggressive or anything like that at all. I'm just trying to tell you how to become telepathic. There's a lot of things going on in meditation which are not going to help you at all. It's like if you listen to binaural beats, if you listen to music, if you focus on this, focus on that, focus on the next thing, but the thing you really want to be focused on is where you want to be, or rather the things that I'm saying for you to focus on. So instead of focusing on 313 hertz sounds or binaural beats, focus on that stream of thoughts going through you, and being in a position of like not just thinking, like being aware of the world by way of these thoughts, but being aware of the thoughts itself. Suddenly you'll be in much more control of your thoughts and able to silence them more easily at will. Having no thoughts leads you into a position of awareness. Within this position of awareness, you have to be mindful of all the things that are going on round about you. For example, there is a train that just made a sound, I don't know, maybe 5-6 miles away. That's probably the nearest railway tracks. I don't know if it came up on the audio for this, but these kind of things are going on all around you all the time and you pay no attention to them. They just appear as things that are there all the time, so it's not really worth fussing over. Become mindful of these things, become mindful of the rustles in the tree, the squawk of birds, the wind blowing. There is a whole living energy which is around you all the time and you mostly ignore it. You'll find that within these various sounds and noises there are things that go bump in the night, so to speak. And you really pay them no heed because you maybe hear the creak of something and you just associate it with the noise of a car engine or something, but within that noise there are vibrations which, if you attune to them, you can actually hear English. The same with the wind, the same with a lot of these noises. It especially comes up with white noise when you're within that state of awareness, and you begin to realise that it's not so much the these voices that you can hear is not so much voices in the wind or within the white noise, but it's through that energy that you're able to tune in to what's going on. So basically, the first thing you have to do once you have the key is to get through the gateway. And to get through the gateway, you have to be in a position of awareness of your own thoughts. Within that position of awareness of your own thoughts, be aware of your environment. And depending what senses you're drawn to, you may actually find that your thought stream within you is actually being contaminated by thoughts which are not your own. You might find the thought streams which appear external are contaminated by thoughts which are not actually the noise of the wind but other things. There's vibrations going through your body constantly, and you pay them no heed whatsoever, and you might associate it with it's just the blood going through your veins or something like that. But when you feel the vibrations and you tune into those vibrations, it's almost like you're rewiring your being so that your ears are, well, the thing that hears sounds are attuning to things you never considered to be sounds. So when there's a vibration going through your hand or even a sore head, there's a vibration there. You can rewire yourself to hear these vibrations, which are not sounds that you hear with your ear, but vibrations nonetheless that have voices within it. By this process of meditation and awareness, you will slowly develop a telepathic ability while you're in that meditative state. This took me several years to achieve, and I don't fully comprehend the whole reality that I'm picking up in there. But, well, there are some people who would say, oh, it's just delusions, I used to have their state of mind where if people was to suggest something like this to me, I would be like, well, it must be a delusion or something like that. But you have to realise that if you realise that telepathy is going on, and there's a whole group of people that don't believe it's even possible, then the question of who is deluded, if you've been in their state of mind and you're becoming aware of this, then it's not so much you that's deluded if you already know their perspective. It's those who are deluded who do not know yours. This is an important thing that I would suggest as a kind of life lesson in general. There are a lot of people out there who cannot see beyond their own perspective. The only perspective that matters is their own, and within that state of ignorance, this is not like naivety, this is like ignorance as in I don't care about other people's perspectives, only my own. They are ignoring the perspectives of others. If they only have access to that one perspective, they only have one set of eyes, they only have one set of ears, and we're talking in an abstract way here. But those who are sharing perspectives with one another, these people not only have their own perspective, but they have the benefits of knowing the perspectives of other people. And probably the worst thing about that environment is that there are people there who are spreading lies and gossip and falsehoods, such that it can be hard to know if someone is being virtuous in the perspective that they're claiming to have. And you'll find that, like, everybody says that they know the truth, but the truth is something beyond even our whole combined perspectives. If we could get people to be honest about what their perspective is, the truth is something beyond even that. And no one knows. If the way I describe it is, I think the way it used to be described would be the dark side of the moon. Nobody knows what's on the dark side of the moon, but since they've sent spaceships and satellites and various things there, it's hard to use that same meme. So I'm suggesting to use the meme of nobody knows what's behind the Orion Nebula. There is a truth about what lies behind the Orion Nebula. No human being knows it because no one's ever seen behind the Orion Nebula, because the Orion Nebula is in the way. We don't know everything. Even if it were to combine our perspectives, we would still not know what's on the dark side of the moon or what's behind the Orion Nebula. So our perspectives are still limited, but by combining virtuous perspectives, that's to say truthful perspectives, we can know much more than someone who is only convinced that only their own perspective matters. So it suffice to say that those who are stuck in the position that only their own perspective matters, these people are probably the least conscious and probably the most closed-minded. And you have to be aware, because of the traumatisation which occurs when people become aware of this. There are a lot of people who are aware who are basically silent, and they hate the idea that that their thoughts can be heard, and the ideas in their mind are not necessarily their own. They hate the reality as it is, and they prefer to live in the illusion as it was. So be careful to acknowledge that when you hear a perspective, even mine, it is just a perspective. Hopefully I'm relating profound truths to you, and hopefully at the same time you're recognising that even though I can relate profound truths to you, I myself, I am deceived by this reality, and I don't know the absolute truth of all things, and no being that I've ever come across does. And there may be things that you're aware of that you can enlighten me to, and things that I'm aware of that I can enlighten you to. But this being from the perspective of those who are sharing their perspectives and willing to listen to reason outside of the construct of a deception which is going on. The liars of the world are probably the most harmful thing to our comprehension of reality that's going on, and there's nothing much we can really do but try and share our perspectives and try and prevent false perspectives from creeping in. And it's by reason that we work out that when someone is self-contradicting themselves, saying that 2 plus 2 equals 5, at the same time that 2 plus 2 equals 3, we know that one of these things must be false, or if they're true, then there is some fact that the person saying these things are both true is holding back from us, and thus, while they may have some wisdom, they may be completely false as well, and we have no way of knowing, so we can't really take on their perspective without it adding up to reason. So hopefully this will give you a lesson in how to go about becoming telepathic, and we'll move on to the next video on the basis that you've already entered through the gateway, having acquired the key. Philly Stone. My website is digitalmystics.org. I accept donations through a PayPal account, which is advertised in various places throughout that website. I consider the information that I'm giving here to be the most valuable information a lot of people will ever have. If you consider this to be valuable, if you could maybe donate £1 or two or $1 or two, it would certainly make it worthwhile. Because while we have spiritual needs, we also have material needs as well, and I certainly do have a need to eat and a need to have shelter and the various basic needs, and of course I have material needs like everyone else. So that's the video. Hopefully it's helpful. If you want to leave comments, then maybe I'll direct the next video towards answering the comments or questions which are there. Philly Stone. Thanks for watching.